It is a scam when you don't allow everyone to operate on fair terms.
We are the Robin Hoods of sports betting. We take something back from the rich bookies and enable our customers to beat them instead.
Hi guys, Alex here. Welcome to episode 47 of the Trademate Sports Betting Podcast. Today I'm joined by the famous football trader, Psychoff. How are you going, mate? And welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm fine. I'm very good. And you?
Yes, very good, mate. Thanks for asking. Mate, today obviously want to talk a lot about your football trading, talk about some of the similarities between and differences between sports betting, which is what kind of Trademate's about, and the trading courses that you provide. Also want to talk about some of your trading strategies and also some more general questions. And I'd love to get to know also about kind of your views, because I know it's been quite prominent on your blog, talking about artificial intelligence in betting. But I think first, a lot of people might not know, or some people might know, that you used to be a psychiatrist, a retired psychiatrist. So, mate, I'd love to know kind of how your role in that field in psychology, I guess, how that helps you with your trading.
Yes, it's a really very common question which asked to me very often. Yes, I haven't been working as a psychiatrist for 4 years. After moving to the UK, I stopped working as a psychiatrist, but it really helps me, especially in the beginning and now as well, because in trading you have good times and certainly you have bad times as well. It's inevitable. You will have losing trades, losing periods, and sometimes these are very long runs which can destroy your moral or everything. You are very open to make some mistakes or use big stakes or risking too much than you should, which I can say controlling yourself. You need to control yourself, especially in these times, because if the things are going well, you don't need to have a good psychology, or you don't need to control anything because everything is going fine and you are successful. You are in a successful run. But especially if things start to go bad, and it will, you need to control yourself, and you need to. You don't have to make mistakes, because these periods are very easy to make mistakes. And psychology knowledge and my psychiatric background helped me in that manner really seriously. But the second thing is my personality is helping me as well, because I have always been a very calm person. I can't be nervous easily in both ways, either in being too happy or being too angry or sad. I've always been in the middle, and it's very difficult to force me to go any pole.
Yeah.
So when I have some losing bets in a very long run, it's very unlikely to see me to make mistakes, because I these don't affect me very much, and I continue to trade in the same way that I've done before. So I can say two factors. One of them is my personality, but the second one is my psychiatric background helped me to be more successful maybe than most of the traders. But it's a very, very important point, especially in the bad runs. If you can't control yourself, then you should stop. I very rarely stop. I can say 2 or 3 times in my trading life, I need to stop trading for a period, let's say for a few days or a few weeks. But usually, at most of the times, I continue trading, and you can't see me making more mistakes. Of course, I'm making mistakes as well, but it is a ratio. It has a ratio. If I make 100 decisions, of course, some of them are mistakes. Let's say 5 of them isn't correct decisions, but 95% is correct decisions. In a bad run, my mistake ratio remains the same. It doesn't go to 20 mistakes or 30 or 50% mistakes. So it's really important, and you are right, it helped me too much in my career. So what I suggest to the traders is, of course, it's not easy to suggest them to go and learn some psychology or go to a school. But if they can't control themselves, or if they struggle to stop, if they struggle to control themselves, then stopping is a very good strategy for a while, because time is a very good treatment for everything. If they wait for a few days and continue after then, they will see the results will be better.
What about for someone who's maybe midway through a day, or maybe just an hour into their trading or betting, and they're, really struggling? They've maybe gotten off to a really slow start and losing a bit of money. Is there something other than just, moving away from your computer and, taking a couple of days off, like you said? Is there anything else like that you've ever tried to try and look after your emotions? Like, I guess maybe things that come to mind are, there's probably some like breathing exercises you can do, and maybe some, maybe going and exercising or something like that. Is there anything outside of just simply taking a break for a couple of days that helps?
Yes, I think everybody has their own ways of relaxation. For example, playing PlayStation and FIFA.
Oh, mate, I agree.
Helps me.
That make you a bit more. That would make me more emotional, though, I think.
I don't know why I prefer playing FIFA after watching hours of football and losing lots of money, and after that, choosing playing FIFA for relaxation is a little bit weird. But they can play PlayStation. They can, as you said, some breath exercise, or they can go for a run, watch a movie. If they are making any sports, especially kicking and punching, something may help. As I said, it may differ from person to person, but everyone knows what is good for them. So stopping the trading and doing something irrelevant from trading is better. Watching a movie or going out somewhere, whatever. But as I said, playing PlayStation is my choice. I think that the reason for this is especially end my sessions at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the night time, and there is not so much thing to do at that time of the day. So after the session, if it was a very bad session, so I prefer playing some online FIFA and trying to beat anyone online.
Try to win at something else, eh?
Yes.
So, mate, when you first moved from psychiatrist, or maybe you were doing both at the same time, being a psychiatrist and trading, Let's just say when you were first starting trading and building your bankroll, were you building your bankroll through trading, or was it through just your normal sports betting methods? And who did you learn from during that time?
I explained this with details in one of my interviews. Um, First of all, I started with a very small bank, and I I had a very big success in a very short period of time, and won really serious money for me. And I started to make lots of mistakes, increased my stakes too much and too early, and lost everything. And then I stopped trading, and I said I will never trade again. And at that time, a friend of mine who is a doctor as well, eye specialist, he helped me. First, he listened to me. He tried to understand where the problem was, and after believing in my skills and interest in sports trading, he said I should start once again, and he helped me about making my first bank, which was, I think, $2,000 or so. And I started again with the money I owed from him, and I built that bank gradually. Whom I learned trading from. Unfortunately, when I started, there wasn't lots of people around to learn trading from. So I discovered nearly everything myself. I tried. Sometimes I failed. Sometimes I succeeded, and I developed a trading style of my own. I can't say this is an invention that I made and nobody knows this. Of course, lots of people in the world are trading in similar ways, but I found this on my own, and I haven't learned it from anyone. And I've not been watching any tutorials or any people's YouTube videos. I never watched, and I'm not watching in these days as well. All I'm doing is I have a proven strategy which works well for years. Of course, I'm changing it. I'm always changing it when I need, because the markets are changing every year. So I need to make some changes as well. But my main strategies are same, and I'm doing the same things again and again and again, like a bot. And I think this is the key for the success, because if you try to make lots of things at the same time, it's very difficult to be successful and to monitor what is working and what's not working. So you need to focus on one strategy at once, and be sure that if it is working or not. After being sure that yes, it's working, then it's okay to jump to the second or third. But when you try to make lots of things at the same time, scalping in horse racing, pre-race, and jumping to football, late goals, or laying the draw strategy, or then going to cricket. At least this is impossible for me to cope with lots of strategies at the same time. So I started with $2,000 or so, which I owe from my colleague, and I haven't learned from anyone. Unfortunately, I passed from the long and difficult way. But in these days, there are lots of ways to learn and watch.
You learn from
And
trial and error.
yes, it's the
Yeah.
maybe best way, but the most difficult way.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned losing your bankroll quite early on. Would you, if you could go back in time, I guess, and give yourself some advice in during that time, and maybe just highlight some of the challenges that you went through when you first started?
Yes, it's cost me maybe 1 or 2 years, because I really promised my wife not to trade again, because we really lost serious money, more money than I won from trading. We really lost all the money we have, and we were really in big financial trouble. And I talked with my wife, and she said, okay, please promise me not to do this again, and we will work and pay our debts to the banks. And I lost nearly 2 years, and I really stopped. And then, as I mentioned, my colleague, he said, I will give you this money. If you lose it, I will not ask for it again. But if you make it bigger, if you make profit, you can pay me afterwards. So I started with zero risk, and I explained this to my wife. I said, there's a good offer. We will have no risk. If I lose, then I will not lose our money. But if I win, it's really a big chance for us. And she accepted, because it really makes sense to try again. I was believing my skills, but I was really very inexperienced. So if I need to give some advice to my younger self, then I would say, don't go fast. Don't try to grow up your bank very fast. Because if you are doing the right thing, sooner or later you will achieve that point. You will come to that point. It's not important you come to that point in 1 year or 2 years. But when you are inexperienced, you are trying to get to that point as soon as possible, which makes you make mistakes, more mistakes. Um, it was really maybe the most difficult times of my trading career. After that, I have never experienced any losses or losing all my bankrupts. I have never experienced anything like that. I had big losses, of course, but I didn't lose my everything, because this is a crazy thing, risking your everything in trading or anything in life. You shouldn't risk all your money or all your investments. So it
Yeah.
was a big lesson to learn, and I believe I learned too much from that experience.
Yeah, no, mate, that is tremendous insight, and I think it's a credit to yourself to see where you are today, and I guess shows your mental fortitude to be able to keep going, even though you were going through significant debt. So yeah, no, that's really, really great story, mate.
Thank you.
Moving on to like more the differences and similarities between betting and trading, I guess there's a lot of general opinions out there on what defines value and how you go about finding value. For yourself, mate, from the trading world, what do you define as value, and how do you find value in your selections?
Defining value is, for me, is very very simple. Uh, it's not different than defining the value for anything for sale. For example, this pen has a value, and we approximately know how much this pen worth. And if someone says, I want to sell this pen to you for £20, you will say no, it's a crazy price for this. Or if someone says I will sell this pen to you for 5p, you can check if it's writing. Yes, it's working, so 5p is a good price, and you buy it. It's nearly same for the exchange and sports betting, sports exchange, I should say. For example, if let's talk about unders and overs, which means there will be a goal or not in a game. When I watch a game for a period, I have an idea on my mind about the possibility and the value or odds, I should say, of a next goal or unders. And I check the Betfair or other exchange markets, but to be honest, I use Betfair as an exchange market. I check Betfair, and if I see any difference between my idea and the actual price on the ladder, then I make my decision either for buying or laying. It's not different than buying this pen or buying anything in the world, because I know that if I take this for cheap, it's easy to sell this for a better price, or vice versa. If you ask me how can you understand the real value, so it really needs experience, because if, for example, if you see some device for the first time in your life, I don't have anything in my room that you will see for the first time in your life, but let's say this one. Let's say this one. For sure, you will not know what it is. This can be a very valuable thing or not. So if I ask you what should be the price of this, probably you can't say anything. You will have an idea, but you will not be sure because you
Now
don't.
that you've touched it, mate, I'll give you £1.
Yeah. But if you have experience, let's say you have seen lots of pens, lots of pencils in your life, so you know how much a regular pen worth. So if you watch enough games, then and watch the prices as well at the same time, because watching just the games isn't enough. You need to look at the prices as well. So when you watch enough games, then you will have an idea what should be the actual price, and you become to define the value, the odds. It takes some time. It's not very easy at the beginning. There are some ways to get an idea about the actual odds as well. It's not just the experience, and I explain this in my courses to my students as well. But when you get the idea, if the price is too low, let's say for the unders, then it's a value bet to lay the unders. Or if you think that the under odds are too high than your expectation, then it's a value bet to back and wait for a period of time, or wait until the end. You can close your position afterwards, or you can let it run until the end. It's your decision. So this is how it works. This is all because it's a market, and we are trading. So we are buying and selling things. In our case, it's odds, but in any other market, we buy goods and we are selling goods, and we are trying to make the profits. It's exactly the same in sports markets. The only thing is, as you said, describing the value seeing it, understanding that there is a value there, and behaving accordingly, buying it or selling it, or buying it and letting it run. It depends on the strategy or the game itself. So this is how it works for me.
Yeah. Are you just using the exchanges nowadays, or are you using both
Yes.
bookmaker?
No.
Okay.
Just the exchange. And my favorite is Betfair because it's the most liquidity in there. And my second favorite is S Markets, I can say.
Markets, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, interesting. And what would you say are the main advantages of doing trading over betting?
In trading, you have always change your decision and sell the odds after you buy it, or after you sell, you have an option to buy it again. But in betting, you make a decision, you have an idea, and you shoot a bullet and wait for what will happen. You don't have an option to change the direction of that bullet. But in exchange, after shooting a bullet, you have an option to change the direction. If it's going on the wrong way, then you have an option to change its direction to the correct way. Or you have an option to accept a little loss and close your position. But in betting, after shooting a bullet, you don't have any chance other than waiting.
Yeah, I get.
So it's not my style. It has never been my style, betting.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Do you think it's more about when you're trying to decide between trading and betting? Do you think it's your decisions should be purely based on your psychology or the way your emotions, like the way you like to work in life? Like maybe, someone who is quite prone to changing their decision and likes to, think on the spot, maybe they're more suited to trading.
Can you explain a little bit more what you mean?
Finally, you don't understand my accent.
Yeah, yes,
Finally.
for the first time, yes.
I guess, I was just trying to say if someone is trying to choose between sports betting and trading, should they decide based on, I guess, how they like to approach life? So if someone likes to make decisions on the spot and always changing their mind, then maybe trading is good for them. But then on the other hand, maybe if someone is like maybe a little bit more risky and likes to make one decision and stick to it, maybe they should do sports betting.
Yes, it makes sense. But what I suggest is whatever your personality or real life behavior is, choose exchange. Then depending on your psychology, trade accordingly. For example, because while trading, there are lots of ways to trade. You can be in the safe side or secure side, or you can take risks as well while trading. In betting side, I don't suggest that, or I can say I don't understand betting. And I honestly have never seen anyone in my environment, anyone who is making consistent profits from just betting instead of trading. I'm sure that there should be someone somewhere making consistent profits from betting, but it has never been my interest, and I don't want to talk about betting in this conversation. But I understand what you mean. Even if you have a personality getting risks and making rapid decisions, again choose the trading side and trade with your personality. But betting, it doesn't make sense to me. But in trading, as I said, there are lots of ways and strategies that you can use. For example, in my basic courses or in the starting of the advanced courses, I explain to my students that you can trade in lots of ways. You can be in the safe and secure side, which is focusing on not losing on your money and accepting just the small profits. It's a way of trading, and in this way you can make profits, not very big ones maybe, but consistent and small profits. Or after doing this for a period, when you grow up your confidence and you feel better and more comfortable, then you can start to be in the more risky side, which is similar to my style. In this style, you are open to lose bigger amounts as well as making very big profits as well at the same time. So after choosing the trading side instead of betting, people should trade according to their psychologies or personalities, but this is after their trade decision, not before. I don't suggest anyone to choose betting, but this is, as I said, this is my idea. I don't say betting is bad, trading is the best one. No, but this is only my idea. Of course, someone will say no. Betting has some advantages over the other. At this, it's very easy, and easy is not the correct word. I mean, you don't need to follow or monitor your trades. You make a bet and you can go to a pub. It's a very luxury thing. I really want this. But in trading, you need to follow your trades. How is it going? You have to sometimes change your position. It takes time, hours. But the other is you can study for the teams. You need to have a very good knowledge about the team's players, their tactics, etc., which I don't need in trading. But they study for something and they make a bet and they don't follow it. They just see the result. So it has advantage. Both of them has advantages and disadvantages. But on my view, because I've always been a trader, never make any bets in a betting site or bookmaker. So this is my decision. But please, the others don't feel offended. And yes.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I think it's really great advice, and it's something that sports bettors and traders should learn, that they shouldn't, like you said right at the start, you shouldn't be devoting your time to lots of different things. You need to find a niche, and if football trading is exactly what you're into, and maybe if you were trying to trade all sorts of things like you said at the start, then you might become quite successful. And I guess it's the same thing with trading and betting, that you should just choose one and try and get really, really, really good at one facet. You mentioned just speaking then about big wins, and I guess you've become quite famous with like posting your screenshots on your Twitter, winning trades on games with late goals. Would this be your most common or favorite strategy that you use with trading?
Not really. But this is the easiest way to post big wins, because when, for example, scalping is my another strategy in trading, but posting this scalping results will not be too much interesting for the followers. So only the big and spectacular wins attracts interest. So I usually post my late goal posts, which are quite bigger than other profits. But I should say, I must say this as well, because this is a very common question. You are always posting the greens, don't you have ever red ones? I think answering to this question is silly, but of course I have lots of reds. Who can imagine that I have always have greens, or did I say anything that I have always had greens in my life? Is it possible? So I'm really laughing at people who are asking me if I have any reds. Of course I have. Of course, this is asking for a football team. Have you ever lose a game? Of course, even the biggest clubs in the world have very big losses, very bad losses, very bad runs in their history, and I had as well. But this is not the point. I not regularly, but sometimes post or share my long-term results as well. Not just the greens. For example, 3 months profits, 1 month profit, and they can. I always share my results in my courses, so my students always see my 1 month, 3 month results. So there is no doubt. I hope there is no doubt. There are always doubters, but on my side, there is no doubt that I am a profitable trader. But these green screens, the goal of the screens is attracting some interest and being, how can I say that? I want people to see and think that this is achievable. If this guy makes this, then I will be able to make similar ones as well. So I want to show people that what can be achievable in sports trading, what figures can be achievable, and I'm sure these are not the biggest ones in the world. There are lots of very successful traders, players who are not around. They are hiding themselves. They are not posting any results of theirs. But these are not the biggest ones. I'm sure there are 6 figures, sometimes 7-figure profits in bigger games, big games, maybe in cricket or other sports, tennis. So I'm just trying to show my individual results to people, just to encourage them and to show them these results can be achievable.
Yeah.
But of course, I have reds, lots of reds.
Don't
Why don't I post reds? Because it doesn't make any sense to make unsuccessful trials. For example, imagine me as a artist or something. I've never seen any artist posting their unsuccessful paintings or products ever. It doesn't make sense because there are lots of them in their rooms, but it makes sense to post the most beautiful, the most successful ones to encourage the others and be proud of their products. So showing the reds doesn't make sense, but it doesn't mean that I don't have reds. I have reds, lots of, and I am sure they have lots of reds as well. So if they want to see reds, they can open and watch their results because they don't have that green ones. The green ones are interesting. Big green ones are interesting.
Yeah.
Reds are not interesting. All of us have red ones.
I would assume that when you first, nowadays, I would assume that when you see people criticizing you or skeptical of what you do, that you would maybe, it doesn't bother you at all now because maybe it's maybe it's happened so many times that you don't care anymore. But can you tell me, like, how you felt the first time someone criticized you and said, I don't know if this guy's true, or that he's falsifying, or you know what I mean? Can you tell me, like, the first time that ever happened to you and how that felt?
Uh, I'm really honest while saying this. This criticisms aren't annoying me too much. I really easily ignore this because I know these are normal. If you have thousands of followers, you can't expect all of them, 100% of them, uh, please and shows respect to you. Some of them, it's very normal. Some of them, it's a percentage. Let's say 1% of them will criticize you, will be haters. I don't like the word haters, but this is the word that that's used in social media. Haters or doctors. There will be some doctors or haters if you post some results or whatever you do. If you shoot vlogs or whatever you do, if you are a YouTuber, whatever. If you are a person in social media, then there will be someone against you at all times. This is very normal, and I accept this from the beginning. So the negative comments really doesn't affect me nowadays, and in the first ones as well. I try to ignore them as far as I can. But if they exceed some limits, and if they continuously make the same behaviors, then I prefer blocking them because they don't deserve to follow my Twitter account or whatever it is. So I really don't. Some people says when we say something negative, you are blocking your followers. No, I really don't block too many people, but I give them some credits and wait for the next time. I post a way about this. I said I think I have a 3-step procedure for the haters. Step 1, ignore. Step 2, ignore. Step 3, block. So if they post a negative comment, then I first
Yeah.
ignore them. The second, I ignore them. But if they continue to do this, then it because you can ask very negative questions or you can make negative comments. It's very normal. I don't expect everyone is applauding me. Everyone says, yes, legend, go. You are the first one. You are the hero. You are the GOAT. Of course, I'm not expecting this. Some people can't like any posts that I do. It's very normal. But if the same accounts, same names are consistently posting negative things, then they're so they deserve this.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm nowhere near as famous as you, but I think I've had only one person that I've had to block because they just got to the point where I think it was probably the exact same process as you. I gave them one chance, two chances, and the third time I was like, you are a very, very annoying person and you need to go away. So then he got the
Yes.
block.
Yes.
And the worst part about it is these kind of people, they hide behind I guess what people call an egg on Twitter. They don't even have a picture and they don't have their real name as on Twitter. So it's very, very easy to be one of those people on a place like Twitter.
If I have two more minutes, I need to say something about the non-believers. If someone says, I don't believe your results and you're a liar, your results are not genuine, So I really think what could be the reason of not believing my results. First, he can think that these results are not achievable for anyone. If this is the reason, then please change this thinking, because my results, as I said, are not the biggest results that can be achieved. There are lots of people, I believe, have bigger and bigger profits than me. So my results seem to be really very big ones, but not. This is not the case. There are lots of bigger traders and bigger profits in exchanges. So please change your mind about this can't be achievable. Yes, these are achievable results. Let's say my results are not genuine, but someone somewhere are doing this success. The second one, they can think the second way, which is, yes, these results are achievable and possible, but you are not intelligent enough to make these results. They can think like this. So did you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So the first one, this is not achievable, and nobody can achieve this. I said this is achievable. The second one, yes, I believe that these figures are achievable, but I can't see you genuine enough to make these results. If they think like this, I'm really curious. So who is? If I can't these, if I can't do these results, I gave my 15 years. I'm well educated. I have a very good setup to do this. So if I can't reach these results, so who can? So what do I need to reach results more than myself? And so, and I can't imagine a third reason who is a non-believer. So please rethink about your decisions when you are saying these are not genuine. And I'm around for nearly 15 years. When you type Psychoff to Google, you can see lots of results, hundreds, maybe thousands of results, and starting from 2000 and maybe sevens, eights. So I'm around for more than 10 years, nearly 15 years. Posted lots of things, arranged online courses, meets lots of followers. Last thing, I know I'm
No, take all the time you like. It's okay.
I'm getting more time and more time. If you are not sure about someone, because I really respect the idea that lots of scammers in the social media about sports trading, or even I can see some Facebook advertisements who says, yes, join my courses, I will have the golden bullet of being successful, blah blah blah. So you need to look at two things. First, how long is that guy around, and how long have we see this guy in the social media? 6 months or 1 year or more. And the second, please try to ask their results, not the green ones, screenshots, the videos like I posted for 3 months Betfair results, or videos especially. If you can see that he's successful and you are convinced that he's successful with his long-term results, and he's around for enough time, then it's very unlikely that he's a scammer. Then please take these two criterias when making a decision about someone. Yes, sorry.
No, that's fine, mate. We'll get off the negative side now, and we can move to something more of your talk more about your strategies. Do you have like a favorite league or a team that you have particular success on?
Yes, exactly. I like the, if we are talking about unders overs again, which is my favorite market. So I like the high odds in the unders overs, which means more likely to have more goals in a game. So some leagues are more convenient for this strategy, which are first Bundesliga, Bundesliga 2 as well, Austria, Spanish La Liga, Turkey, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, with the lots of late time goals. These are the first ones that I can recall. Because I'm looking for the high odds in under markets to get the advantage of big drops, big sudden drops. The vice versa, the leagues that I least like, I don't like too much, are with low odds. For example, Portugal, but not big teams games. In Porto, Benfica, Lisbon, these games, these teams games odds are quite high. But the other teams matches, Greece, some Italy games, Serie A games, when it's not Juventus and other big teams are playing. So I like if the odds are high in unders markets, these are the best leagues for me. If the odds are low, it's not interesting for my trading style.
So why do you think you're better in some leagues compared to other leagues?
Because of the odds, I can say. If the odds are high in unders markets, it usually means that the volatility will be high as well. So if you want to make a profit in the market, there should be a volatility. The price of this pen should not be standard or fixed. Okay. If it's fixed at, let's say, 50p, then it's very unlikely to make profits with buying and selling this. But if it changes too quickly, I can buy 30p and sell from 50p. And it happens, if it happens too quickly, then there is an opportunity. But if its price is fixed, so in an exchange market, it's not very easy to make profits. So this is the reason why I'm looking for high odds and the volatility, especially if the price is changing too fast, then you have always a better chance of making a profit than a stable market.
So you found there's more volatility in the leagues like the ones you were mentioning before, like Germany, Spain, Austria.
Okay. Switzerland, maybe.
Okay, that's very interesting. And you obviously, everyone knows you're a football trader. Do you trade any other sports outside of football?
Rarely basketball, very rare. But not others.
Yeah. So you do
NBA is very rare. I can say sometimes.
Okay, but, so you do like you said before, try and keep it as simple and niche as possible. Have you had a look at maybe more like emerging markets like esports or anything like that, and tried out those?
Not yet, because I don't think there is enough volatility and liquidity. Especially liquidity should be very weak in these markets. But I haven't checked recently. Did you check and have any knowledge about the liquidity in those markets, or just asking?
Yeah, I mean, from a sports betting perspective, the liquidity is not anywhere near, something like a big European football league. But I mean, that can be both a good and bad thing, can't it? Because you can really take advantage of some inefficiencies. Because I have noticed there can be some very extreme swings in the prices only minutes before an esports fixture. So that's the only thing that I've noticed, that it depends what your preferences are. But if you're going in, I guess, with a cold trading perspective, it can be you would need to have some sort of decent knowledge as to when you can expect a big swing.
Yes. So I should take my son with me to ask what's going on there, because as you said, you should have a big knowledge and understanding about what's going on, because my biggest edge is I understand football, and I can read the game easily when I watch any game for 5 or 10 minutes, and I can price the odds easily. But in a esports event, I'm not sure if I can do it easily. I need to watch it hundreds, maybe thousands of hours to understand and
Of course.
anticipate the change in the odds. So it's another totally different area. And as I said, I don't need to seek for another area. There is an area that I'm successful, so I don't need to seek something different to jump to horse racing. If I jump to horse racing, if I watch enough markets, pre-race horse racing looks interesting for me, to be honest. But I don't need to spend any more time to horse racing, because it's really time-consuming thing, and time is very valuable as well as money.
Yes.
So I need time as well. That's why I'm not searching for another area to be successful. But if you are a beginner, of course, these are new areas. Maybe if you understand from esports that the games that they are playing, it can be a profitable area, maybe possibly in the future.
Yeah. You stated on your blog, like I mentioned at the start, that you're interested a lot in AI and machine learning and things like this. How much do you think the industry has embraced these kind of methods, and how much of an advantage is it for a sports bettor to be really knowledgeable about these areas?
Unfortunately, it's a growing area in exchange markets, and especially in play, because pre-off, before the game, the odds are so usually so accurate, and it's very difficult to beat the odds before the game. But in play, it's a very dynamic period, so it's very difficult for the bookmakers or the Betfair to provide you the most accurate odds. It's impossible for them, because, as I said, football or the other sports as well are very dynamic. They are very changing in every second, so they can't update the odds as fast as the game itself. But the machine learning and artificial intelligence can do this. So it's, I can say, the traders' enemy in these years. They are updating the odds very accurately and very fast. And it's becoming difficult and difficult every year to find value in the in-play markets, especially in the big events where the biggest money is there. But in the second tier games, like the Serie A, not for Juventus or Napoli or other famous teams games, but in a let's say Fiorentina playing with any other Italian team, so that you can see some values easily in that games as well. But if Juventus is playing in Bayern Munich in Championship, Champions League final, or a very big event, so it's very difficult to find the value because of the bots which are using the techniques that you mentioned, artificial intelligence and machine learning. They are really learning the human behaviors and mimicking them, using the stats, even using the actual in-play data where the ball is, if the position is dangerous or not. And they can give you the most accurate odds that's very difficult to beat. This is the danger for a trader to be profitable in the long term.
Do you think this is the way of the future? Do you think when it comes to trading that I guess my question is like, what do you see the future of trading? Do you see, bots like you were saying? Do you see them as maybe an essential apparatus to have? I guess is maybe a good way of putting it.
I'm sure they will be more involved in sports exchange trading in the future. But I'm optimistic as well. The reason for this is when I started 15 years ago, the way that I trade was really very different from what I'm doing today. It's always changed, and it's changing every year. There are some new opportunities growing. For example, a VAR. A VAR system is totally a new thing, and it's really changed the way we trade. And I'm sure there will be lots of new things in the new future years. And our trading will change every year. New opportunities will come, and whoever best adapts to these changes will survive. Whoever can't will be lose.
Do you think this is something you will do in the future, or maybe you've already experimented?
In these for 2 years, we have been working on a project merging my trading skills with artificial intelligence and machine learning systems. And I hope we will see the results this season, because it's a complicated thing that I'm not very good at computer side. I don't know machine language or something, but I'm working with them, with the best professionals. It's too early to make any estimations or projections about the future, but we will see the results. But for my future, I'm planning to continue trading as well as continue my courses and educating side. Maybe I will increase this mentoring and teaching side a little bit more than my trading, because trading is really very time consuming and stressful. You can't always win, and it really stressful event even for me. um, Whatever the result is, even though you make a profit, it's really stressful. So maybe mentoring and teaching someone your experiences and your trading style is better than trading all day. So I'm planning to increase my mentoring and teaching side in the future. Maybe we'll see. I don't have exact plans, and I can't say you in the next 5 years I see myself here, because it's changing very fast.
Yeah, I mean, the greatest example of that is 2020. Mate, one of my last questions I have for you is, who do you, as someone that's worked in the industry or for 15 years, as you were saying, for a very long time than most people, who do you follow most closely? And is there, in the sports betting and trading world, is there someone you really respect that you listen to all the time or read their blog or something like that? Is there someone that you would recommend beginners to listen to and, learn from, other than yourself, of course?
Very difficult question, because honestly I don't have any names to tell you, especially for football trading, because there aren't too many football traders around. I know there are too many, but I don't know anyone who is popular. And if you look at my Twitter account, you will see I'm following just a few accounts. Most of them are companies rather than individuals, like Betfair Exchange or the other companies. So I don't follow too much accounts. I don't follow any YouTube channels. So it's a very common question asked to me, but I can't recommend any useful websites or YouTube channels or accounts. I'm sorry, I don't have any answer.
No, that's fine. Is there a reason why you choose not to?
First of all, it's time. I don't have time to follow any accounts or any YouTube videos, because as far as I finish my trading job here, I immediately close or turn off my computer, and I choose to be away from the computer work. The first thing is that. The second, if I can find someone to follow and learn something, it's okay for me. But I have never seen anyone like that. Maybe I haven't searched enough. But there is not a particular reason. Just I don't like listening or seeing something about trading, because I'm full of trading in my life. So I don't want to see anything about trading more out of my trading sessions. I think this is the biggest reason. I don't want to learn anything more or see anything more.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. And there's a lot of garbage on Twitter too, so I don't blame you. But I'm looking at your profile now, and I can see you're following 24 people. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll be expecting by the time this comes out that it's at 25, and you're following Trademate Sports.
Okay, I will.
There you go.
I promise. Okay.
Oh, there we go. How good's that? You're our most important follower, mate. Well,
Thank you.
that's great for us. But mate, that's all I really had for you today. If people want to follow some of the stuff you're doing on Twitter, your bets that you're posting, and whatever your content you're putting out on Twitter, they can follow you at Psychoff Trading, and they can obviously find your courses at psychoff.co.uk. Is there anything else you wanted to mention about your courses that you're running at the moment?
I have two different courses, one basic and one advanced. These courses are different from the others, according to my knowledge. I haven't seen any course which is similar to mine, because my courses are live, and like this Zoom meeting, we are arranging the courses through Zoom software, and the followers, the students, are able to see my desktop, and they are able to see me trading live when there is a live event. I trade, and while trading, I'm explaining what I am doing, why I am doing, and I'm trying to answer their questions at the same time. So I guess this is the best way of learning, instead of a preset or pre-recorded stuff. It's totally live. I'm betting totally live. There is nothing pre-recorded. Everything, they can watch the game themselves at the same time at their homes, and they see my letters. And I organized the course thinking just like they are my guests coming to my working space, to my room, and they are watching me while training. Because sometimes my friends who are guests to my house, and they come when I'm trading, and they ask, what are you doing here? And I sometimes describe what I'm doing here. So I tried to make a similar setup here. So they are my guests, and in the advanced course, they are my guests for 10 hours, which is a very big time to spend together. We watch lots of games, maybe tens of dozens of games, and I trade live in front of them, and describing everything from the setup I use, from the softwares, from the web pages I use, from the services. So I'm trying to describe all the edges I have. Some can ask, why are you describing or telling everything? So don't you think that you could lose your edge? My answer is possibly, but there's a big difference, which is the experience. It's very difficult to pass my experience to them, and it will take time if they are serious about trading. So I should say that my courses are totally for someone who are very serious about trading. It's not for someone who thinks that I can look at 2 or 3 games every day and make £50 a day, which is a good money. And so I don't recommend joining my courses, because I'm providing a service who are really serious and who wants to be a professional football trader in the future. So it takes time to come to a point to become a threat to my profit, and I'm asking for a good price for it as well. My courses are not cheap for lots of people. It's not a £200 course. So I'm asking for a good price and I'm taking the return. So my responsibility is telling all the edges and all the experience, all the knowledge that I have to them in 10 hours. So this is the summary of my courses. And I will start a new one in late September or early October, maybe. If they are interested, they can drop me an email. There's a waiting list. It's very difficult to jump in the next courses because there is a, as I said, big interest. And the basic course attendees have priority in attending to the advanced one. So if you drop me a mail, if they drop me a mail about their interest, I can show the way. Yes, that's all about my courses.
Yeah, no, tremendous, mate. And mate, thank you so much for coming on. Your insight is, it's it's brilliant, and it's been a pleasure to have you on. And thanks so much for giving up your time to share your great knowledge.
Thank you very much, Alex. It was a pleasure for me as well, and I will follow you just after the session.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. And for everyone listening, the next podcast we will have will be on Thursday, and that'll be our standard weekly show with George Gamble and Haru Masayan, pro sports bettor. We will be going through the first round of the EPL, which is great news for everyone. Football is back already. It hasn't taken long, and it is back already. But other than that, thanks for listening. Make sure you do a quick rate and review of the podcast and subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you're looking to implement some of the strategies we've talked about today on the podcast, especially anything to do with value betting or value trading, I guess you could put it that way, make sure you start a free week trial of Trademate Sports. But Psychoff, mate, thank you very much once again.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
See you guys.